Welcome to the Heal, Thrive, Dream podcast, where trauma survivors become healthy thrivers. Each month, we'll feature a theme in the trauma recovery and empowerment field. To promote your recovery, healing, and learning how to build dreams, here's your host, Karen Robinson, transformational coach and therapist.
Hello, and welcome to the Heal, Thrive, Dream podcast. Today, my special guest is Mary Knippel. She is an inspiring author, speaker, and soul story mentor, dedicated to helping writers transform life experiences into powerful stories. Mary is the author of The Secret Artist, compiler of the Written in Her Own Words, co-author series, and founder of Soul Story Sanctuary, a storytelling community. Please visit her website at maryknippel.com. Thank you, Mary, for being here today.
Oh, I'm so delighted. It's a pleasure to be here.
I love that you have signed up to be one of our speakers at the next trauma summit that I'm doing on May 30th, where the theme is about how trauma impacts our physical health and how important the healing is around that. And the healing could be so many different things. So I'm hoping that you will share part of your injuries or wounds with us, or any major health issues. And also the second part of that would be sharing how you healed. I think I know because we talked a little bit, but maybe just go ahead and start with the big traumas that you feel like you've had in your life.
One way that I have found writing as an integral part of my healing was after my second breast cancer experience. And The Secret Artist is actually essays that are based on journal entries. How did I use the lessons that I learned while I was going through that trauma of being diagnosed and getting form letters saying you have an abnormal mammogram instead of getting a phone call from the office saying, we think we need you to come in. How can that be considered humane treatment to get a form letter with a check mark saying abnormal mammogram? So being able to use writing as a healing tool. And I have always known that the answers were at the end of a pen for me because I started keeping a journal when I was 11. And yeah, what do you write about when you're 11? Who was cute at school and copying down poems and things like that, and what I want to do when I grow up someday. But I've always known that that was part of me learning about me, and it still is. It's still a valuable tool for me. And that's one of the things that I advocate everybody do, to have that conversation on paper with themselves 5 minutes a day and see where it leads you. But writing is part of my healing process, has been for a long time.
But how do you explain that it works? Like, maybe try to articulate for those who don't understand. Because a lot of people think they know, yeah, of course, writing will help. Yeah. And then they don't do it because they're busy or whatever. But why is it such an effective healing process?
First of all, it's the physical act of writing the words down, and you can release things from your body by getting it out onto paper. And I've been to workshops and things where we actually will write something down and that released a little bit, but then we took it a step further. We would rip it up into little bits. And there was one where it was a special kind of paper that you lit it and then it physically went off into the Ethernet, and it was just like releasing things. So it's that when you write it down, and I really mean taking pen to paper, that having that connection of you grasping the pen and forming the words on the paper and seeing things right in front of you, that it's a physical act of expression and release. And it's not just, oh, the words were in my head and now they're on the page. No, it's coming from your heart. It's coming from your soul. Because it's emotional. It's you being able to have that deep connection with yourself and knowing that you are taking action with what's going on. You are doing something in a way that nobody else can do, because you can't make an appointment to cut this trauma out of my system. It's deeply embedded. And you have the power to cope and change. And only you can do that. Only you can be willing to articulate it, give it words, and release it. And writing it down is you articulating it and releasing it.
And how did your body feel after you started to do that during your healing from cancer? Like when you were writing, and releasing what was going on with your body?
There are times where you feel stuck and things are just congealed, and all of a sudden you just keep writing, you keep writing. And a lot of times when people say, when I'm journaling, I'm stuck on the same thing. I keep saying the same thing. And what I like to encourage them is just keep saying the same thing. And I guarantee that at some point it will land differently. You will understand from another level, and you will go, oh, the nuances are so much different. It doesn't have the emphasis. It's like when you say the sky is blue, or you say the sky is blue, the sky is blue. Your emotions are attached to those words. And so, yeah, there were tears when I was writing. There are tears when I'm writing now. And that's how I know that it's not just that I'm getting words on a page. It's I'm expressing myself. I am feeling the feelings again, and am from a different perspective, from a different place. It's not that when at the first diagnosis was, I was like, how did this happen? What did I do? And the second time it was like, how did this happen again? What do I do now? And living in fear that it's going to happen again. And then when it happened the third time, it was just like, why did it happen 15 years later? And knowing that it may not be anybody's fault. And at the same time, it's us being able to take matters into our own hand and do things that we are capable of, and addressing our emotions and talking about, how am I feeling right now? How am I going to be able to live with what's going on and make plans for what I want to have going on next? And being able to write about the reality and what you would love to have happen, and knowing that if we don't dream, we won't know what's possible. We won't know how we could shift, how we could make that change our new reality, how we can rewrite the story so that we have the happy ending that we want.
That was beautifully said. Yeah, I've worked with a lot of women and men over the years that have had serious medical issues. And one of the core beliefs, and it doesn't mean that you've had this, I'm just exploring this. I think it's helpful for the audience to hear, because it's sometimes when we have like such strong negative beliefs, we think we're alone. And one of the core negative beliefs I would hear from people that had been diagnosed with cancer is, I'm defective, I'm broken, and why is this happening to me? That worry that we get from as children, good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. Now we know intellectually that's not true, but when we're faced with such serious illness, I think that can haunt us a little bit. Did you have any of that kind of struggle?
Oh yeah, you're a good girl, you follow the rules. And yeah, why me? What? And when you think about the statistics, the 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. And you go, this happened to me. What? 3 times? What is going on here? And at the same time, then there's something special, something significant that I am to learn from this, and the wisdom that I am to pass on to who is put in my path. That's how I started talking about breast cancer as a gift, because it brought me clarity about what's important, what it is my gift to deliver to the world, as far as everybody has a unique story that the world needs from them, that we have responsibility to talk about our story so that the people who we are meant to impact will have the life that they are designed to have. And that's how I had to get my journal entries out of my journals and into print so that I could impact more women, but other than the ones that I'm going to encounter in the networking groups and the various ways that I'm out there speaking. But my words are in print. And that's how I gained the confidence to go out there and be as a speaker and to be a writing coach, to be able to stand for their story until they gain the confidence to know that they have more than one story. But I'm here to help you articulate that one that is ready and willing, and you're willing to share right now. Because we all have something that is ours to share, that we have a unique way that we coped with something. It's what made us who we are right now, gave us the skills that we have to do the work that we do. And as a journalist for over 40 years, I'm curious. I have intuition. I ask questions and people go, nobody's ever asked me anything like that before. And what I really love is when somebody says, I've never talked about this before. And that always gives me goosebumps. It's, oh, it's the story under the story.
Yes, and there's so much meaning behind that. And Mary, it sounds to me like it's really important to you to inspire hope in others. Would you agree with that? And other than coaching writing, how else does that show up for you in your life?
Inspiring hope is exactly that. We recognize the wisdom from those life experiences and what it is that we are here to pass on. And so everything, whether I'm talking to somebody in the grocery store or someone that says, oh, I'm not a writer, I wouldn't know what to write. And it's like, we're all writers. We all are creative in our own ways. And that when we show up authentically and be the love that we are designed to be, that we are going to connect. And that's what it's all about. It's not about how many likes you get on a Facebook post. It's, are you connecting? Is this truly the words that you are meant to share and that convey your your thoughts and the essence of who you are as a person? And my essence is that I'm committed to inspiration, compassion, and synchronicity. And I want everybody to recognize that stuff happens, nothing happens randomly, but we're all connected. And at some point, we'll see how this A is connected with C, and B had to happen first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that you say that we all have a story to tell. I think in my experience, some of my clients, maybe they have learning disabilities, they think they're stupid, even though the truth is they just learn differently.
Mm.
And so sometimes I ask them to draw a picture of what's happened. And then I say, okay, now talk about your picture. Of course, they're telling a story. I said, all you got to do is record that and then get it transcribed or get a ghostwriter. It's your story. And when they can see it that way, they find that really helpful. So thank you that you can see that in people. And how your work as a coach, how do you move people along when they get stuck with sharing like such painful or hard stories? How do you keep them going?
One of the things that I will do is send them suggestions, or sometimes we call them writing prompts, but it's a little phrase just to get you started. And it can be a quote, it can be a song lyric, it can be something from a poem, it can be something that is in advertising, but it means something and it will be the spark. Nike is just do it. What does that mean to you? Just do it. Or I dwell in possibility. That's a fabulous line of poetry. What does that really mean? I wouldn't pull out Shakespeare for everybody, but some people really do know Shakespeare sonnets. To thine own self be true. And so you can start creating your own list of writing prompts, things that will get you going. And every day there's something designated as it's National Donut Day, it's Popcorn Day. I think next week it's Storytelling Day. You could go to those designations, and every month there are themes. It's Stress Awareness Month this month. Next month, May, it will be all about mothering. And I've done workshops where how do you mother yourself? What does mothering mean to you? And so when my clients say, I wouldn't know where to start, I don't know how to do this, and you know how to start. You just start. You pick up a pen, and if you have nothing else, that you have no prompts that I've sent you, and you write these words, you say, what does my heart want me to know right now? What does my soul want me to know right now? If you have a dream of writing a book, you ask the question, what does my book want me to know right now? And I guarantee if you started your journaling every day with a question and just answered that question, you would never run out of anything to write.
Yes. Yeah, I have the problem of I have too much I want to write about. Okay. So before we go back to the summit, I do want you to talk about all the different things that you offer. I'm interested if you have workshops, if you have retreats, do you do group work with clients, or is it just individual? Share what you offer people.
The thing, what I have, the Soul Story Sanctuary community is the group work that we're doing, that the people who say, I never know what to write, I don't have time to write, that gives you accountability in that we meet every Tuesday at 7 a.m. in a private writing room. So you have safe, sacred space, and you get a selection of writing prompts to write from or choose not to. And we have a group call where people come together and they may or may not be working on something specific, but they have reactions to whatever the writing came up during that time. And then there's a video training that's part of the program that everybody gets once a month. And there are monthly themes. And I do have a retreat, a women's creativity retreat, Wise Woman Wisdom, that happens in March every other year here on the California coast. And I'm facilitating a co-author book called Written in Her Own Words. And in that sense, you're drawn to, someday I'd like to write a book. This is a way for you to dip your toe in and say, with support, you can write 1,000 words and be an Amazon bestseller and have an author page on Amazon. And it's different in that a lot of the co-author books, you fill a category and you're writing about this specific topic. And Written in Her Own Words, it's what your soul is asking you to be writing about. And so the women are coming forward with, this is the topic that I'm writing about. And we won't know a theme until we have all our authors together, because it's very intimate and very personal. It's women's wisdom at its best. And I love to be able to meet one-on-one with people in a VIP setting where we just go after what it is that they want to accomplish, whether it's to get a concept for book together, or that they want to get confident in blogging. As an independent editor, I understand the whole process of being able to have the whole idea of the book and not get bogged down with what goes, and I hold the structure of what goes where, and all you do is create the content. So I love being able to go everything from books to blogs to a new bio for your website.
That's so incredibly helpful. I'm glad that you mentioned anthologies, because when I first started dreaming of writing a book, it was very overwhelming. If you work full time, you have kiddos and a partner on church stuff, and once you look at time, if your full time job is not a writer, it is very intimidating, or it can be. So the anthology is just a beautiful way to tip your toe in, like you said, and it's not intimidating, and there's lots of support. So it's beautiful. And you do all the work, the host, or the main author or the compiler of the stories?
So I'm the compiler and the publisher. And
Yeah.
by the time, so September 11th is when our second volume is coming out. And we'll have group calls where you get to know the other authors and talk about the writing process. And then you meet one-on-one with me to get your concept. And it's also a marketing tool for you, because you have an author page where you can talk about, this is my free gift, or sign up to have a one-on-one with an individual author, because we want you to be able to connect with your ideal audience, with the women who are longing and looking for you.
Yeah, and the nice thing about working with a publisher and book compiler is really you do the heavy lifting. So people show up, and you guide them, even the marketing, the launch, you give the guidance. So it's so much less overwhelming for people that have no experience, right?
Absolutely.
And have to have people like you on their side. So that's beautiful. Okay, I love your offers, and I need to get one of your March retreats on my calendar in advance, because I know I want to do that. So if anybody wants to go with me to one of Mary's retreats, reach out. I'm a big retreat lover, and I'm also now hosting retreats. This year is my first one in November, and then after that, I'm going to do 3 next year. So very exciting times.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need to do that because we keep giving and we have to fill ourselves up.
Absolutely. Okay, so now I want to ask you a bit about the retreat. I have your submittal handy just in case you don't have it handy. Do you want to share I love how you wrote tagline on the document. Do you remember what that is, or do you need me to read it?
Please read it.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't necessarily expect you to have it in front of you. Mary, on our summit, her talk title is Your Story Lives in Your Body, Writing as a Way Home to Yourself. Like, how beautiful is that? But then her tagline is Come Back to Yourself, one word at a time. And do you have a quick thing like you'd like to say about that, Mary?
That
Come back to yourself, one word at a time.
Because when we take the time to sit and journal, and that is what we focus on, and what I referenced before was having a conversation with yourself. We are so busy making sure that everybody else is taken care of, that we're feeling like we're the performer that has all of the plates spinning at the same time. And we're not one of those plates, that we are on the bottom of the list if we're on the list at all. And so coming home to yourself is being able to sit with that journal and be inspired by what it is you're dreaming about, and make plans for yourself one word at a time. It's like being authentically you and making plans on how you are going to show up for yourself. And so that's one of the things that I created an acronym around soul, is that you show up for yourself, that you own your story, that you have understanding for all of this wisdom that your life experience has brought to you, and you love yourself. Showing up for yourself, loving yourself. That's one word at a time to encourage you to come home, be at peace, and shine. Shine as a beautiful soul that you are.
That's beautiful, Mary. I am so thrilled that not only are we doing this podcast together, that you're going to be on my summit. I've loved all my summits so far, but there's something about this one. I'm not sure if I can articulate it. Maybe I can. I think when our physical bodies hurt, or we're injured, or we're sick, or we feel our body is defective in any kind of way, it's just so physically and emotionally painful. And to know that there's healing, whether it's writing or energy or spiritual healing practices, our mental health practices, the meditation. There's so many things to try. It's heartbreaking when people give up before trying all the beautiful things there are to try. And I think the work that you're doing, it's very clear how it can be healing, and there's actually a lot of evidence now around how healing journaling is, and writing, and then voicing our stories. So thank you so much, Mary. Do you have any final words that you want to say?
I would just like to say that writing is available to everyone, and it's not a sophisticated skill. It's not a lot of technical knowledge. It's not a major equipment investment. Pen and paper, time for yourself. And
thank you again.
Thank you.
Did you have another thought? I don't want to cut you off.
And give that gift to yourself.
Gift to yourself. Beautiful. Thank you all for tuning in today.
Thank you for listening in today. Please join us next week, same day and time. Also, I would love for you to check out my website, healthrivedream.com.